Have you ever dreamed of owning your very own dragon? A creature with radiant scales, intimidating horns, or even wings? From creatures that glide like fantasy wyverns to aquatic beasts with gills straight out of a fantasy world, these animals bring a touch of magic into real life. Here are 5 real-life pets you can own that resemble dragons. What would a dragon be without an impressive set of horns? The horned lizard, which is also called the horned toad and horny toad, is a reptile whose spiky crown and scaly body give it a distinctly dragon-like appearance. Found in the deserts of North America, these lizards are known for their ability to blend into their sandy surroundings. Of course, these miniature dragon-like beings don't blow fire, but one incredibly strange feature of some horned lizard species is that they can shoot a stream of acidified blood from their eye as a defense. They can also inflate their bodies to make themselves harder to swallow. Sometimes horned lizards are kept as pets, however they actually don't do so well in captivity without expert care. In the wild, horned lizards prefer to live in rocky, arid conditions, so this is often replicated for them in captivity. In addition to a very hot area to bask, which should be maintained around 100 degrees. Another unusual feature of horned lizards, their diet is composed mainly of ants. Some say that feeding a diet of harvester ants is important to keep these lizards, as it more closely mimics their wild diet, since it includes components like formic acid. Although others argue that standard, much easier to find insects are adequate. Needless to say, this often wild-caught, not often kept species, with its declining populations in the wild, should be left for more specialized reptile caretakers. Dragon-like animals are not confined to land animals. Meet the dragon Mor Eel, and as its name suggests, it has a mythological appearance. This stunning marine creature has vibrant colors, jagged teeth which it loves to display, and a long serpentine body that screams sea dragon. Native to the waters of the Indo-Pacific, the dragon Mor Eel is a showstopper in any saltwater aquarium. These highly prized fish are widely available in the marine animal trade. However, they can cost upwards of $1,000. They are also relatively easy to care for, with some caveats. Like other eels, they are prone to escaping and require a tight-fitting lid. While eels are relatively sedentary, this somewhat large 3-foot-long fish requires a larger tank of over 150 gallons. Of course, hiding is their way of life, so plenty of hiding spots are needed. And don't keep smaller fish and invertebrates with this beautiful eel, as they will likely be eaten. With a healthy, meaty diet of fish, shrimp, and squid, dragon eels can thrive in aquariums. This is despite that, like other eels and most marine fish, they are not captive bred. As long as you have the right aquarium setup and a specimen that is properly acclimated to captivity, they are considered to be easy keepers and are widely available in marine fish specialty stores. Some of the most beloved storybook dragons have wings, and believe it or not, there does exist one lizard that is our closest equivalent to a flighted reptile. This small but incredible lizard, also called the flying dragon, has flaps of skin along its ribs called the patagium that allow it to glide between trees. This magnificent feat is accomplished by folding and unfolding the same muscles that control breathing in other lizards. Draco lizards glide to maneuver their forest home and to escape predators. Found in Southeast Asia, this group of agamid lizards bring magical winged dragons to life. They are expectedly primarily arboreal tropical animals that feed on insects. Similar to the horned lizard, this consists of mainly ants, as well as termites in the wild. Another dragon-like feature of Draco lizards, the males are highly territorial, utilizing both their patagium and brightly colored dewlaps in disputes with other rivals. It doesn't get much cooler than a Draco lizard, but I'm sad to say, while available, this is a challenging animal to own as a pet for the average person. First and foremost, many of them are not captive-bred animals, as they are very hard to breed, which means they will require special accommodations to successfully thrive in captivity. These are tiny, skittish, quick lizards that also enjoy making tremendous leaps, so you're looking at providing a lot of space for a small pet that you will not be able to freely handle. Given their territoriality, you can only keep one animal per enclosure. Maintaining jungle-like parameters in the terrarium is also a must. They may be prone to becoming dehydrated without consistent, sufficient humidity levels. Sadly, without perfect care, they can perish easily. So yes, owning a real dragon might be alluring, but there is a reason these little lizards have never been popular in the pet trade. For the experienced, dedicated hobbyist, however, they can make an exciting addition to a household. Before we get to the next animal on our list, remember that, unlike some other pet choices, many lizards can be fragile, especially when they aren't captive bred. It is imperative to ensure more sensitive animals are kept in a larger enclosure with plenty of coverage and hiding places. Perhaps this might conceal your interesting pet more often, which is why many wouldn't recommend them as pets. Many owners, however, appreciate any opportunity to catch a fleeting glimpse as they would watching wildlife in nature. This striking green lizard looks like a mini wingless, hornless dragon with its rigid scales and piercing eyes. It is uniquely endemic to the highland cloud forests of Mexico. The body shape might not be so dragon-like, but its striking emerald green scales and dramatic facial features make it look like a creature from storybooks. They have a prehensile tail, which means they can use it to grab on to things like a monkey. This is another lizard that loves arboreal living, humid conditions, and is insectivorous. In captivity, they would need a tall enclosure to keep them stress-free. However, they do not demand extremely high basking temperatures. The acceptable range for an adult alligator lizard is around 80 degrees, and their cage needs ventilation, despite their humidity needs. In fact, the humidity levels actually need to fluctuate, with extremely high humidity occurring at nighttime. They love sitting on beautiful plants called bromeliads, and adding live plants is very beneficial. This is another uncommonly available finicky keeper with highly specific needs, and handling them must be kept to a minimum. Therefore, they're more of a pet to enjoy without interaction. However, there's a more important reason to ensure that only advanced responsible keepers work with these animals. They are currently listed as endangered, and while their populations are mainly threatened by habitat fragmentation, research indicates the pet trade has had a negative effect on them as well. Advanced keepers need to focus on breeding this species with the hopes of shrinking the market for wild-caught animals, which are harder to keep successfully in captivity anyway. One of the most famous dragons around is Toothless the Night Fury from the animated hit How to Train Your Dragon, and it will come as no surprise to most that his design was based on the amphibian, the axolotl. Also known as the walking fish, the axolotl is an aquatic salamander that looks like a dragon with a rather quirky and adorable appearance. With feathery gills that resemble the ear-like appendages of the night fury, as well as a permanent smile, this unusual creature is a favorite among exotic pet enthusiasts, as well as the general public. Just like the night and light furies, these widely available, domesticated animals come in white and black or leucistic and melanistic colorations, as well as a few other unusual morphs. Endangered in the wilds of Mexico, these domestic creatures have prospered in captivity. Want your own mini Toothless? Axolotls are a very practical pet option. The biggest issue with these animals is temperature. They require much cooler water than most aquatic species kept as pets. Aquarium chillers are a must because they must be maintained around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius. Aside from this, they are relatively easy to keep in a bare or fine sand-bottomed aquarium with adequate filtration. You will also need to feed them with tongs and clean up their waste to keep the water as clean as possible. Feed them a diet of specialized commercial food, earthworms, and other appropriate invertebrate foods. Whether you're into scaly, winged, or aquatic creatures, these 5 animals prove that you can bring a little bit of dragon magic into your home. Just remember, use multiple resources to research pets that are not often kept, as opinions on their care tends to vary and be in its preliminary stages. Which dragon-like pet would you want to own? Let us know in the comments. And remember to keep an open mind and see pets differently.